We do have some questions. You
Oh,
ready?
perfect.
And we thank everybody, by the way, for leaving your questions with us. And of course, follow Dr. Janine on Instagram. And please do leave your email address so you can be included in the newsletter. But first of all, Frank, and by the way, Frank and everybody, we appreciate you writing in and leaving a question for Dr. Janine. Frank says, I will be having cataract surgery soon. Is there any point in worrying about prevention techniques now?
Great question. So thank you for asking that. And yes, as much as in the cataract surgery, what happens is that the lens of the eye is replaced. But remember that the eye has multiple parts. So if the lens is replaced, great. I mean, this will help the fact that you had the clouded lens. However, the other part, so remember we talked glaucoma, we talked about the pressure in the eyes. We want to make sure that we're preventing that. We also want to protect the macula of the eyes. It's still really important to make sure that you have a healthy diet, that you're feeding your eyes with the lutein, the zeaxanthin, and all of those nutrients, those potent antioxidants to help to protect all of the tissues in the eye. So great question. I love that. And again, prevention is always better than cure, so it's really important that we always, from a preventative standpoint, are doing as much as we can.
Questions with natural answers. That's the name of the show, and that's exactly what you're getting with all of the questions and the answers being given, which we appreciate you leaving for us, including Laura now, who says, with the kids being home right now, she's referring to COVID-19, the pandemic, and socially distancing and such. She says, I can't limit their screen time. Should I be concerned about this?
Well, yes, you can't stop the kids, unfortunately, at a certain point from interacting with technology. Yes, it can be a controversial topic because I know some families, they don't have any technology, but I think that's few and far between. So limiting it, turning it to night mode is something that we definitely have to do. And if you can, get the protective glasses. Make sure that their diet is also really high in the lutein, the zeaxanthin, so those raw, fruits and vegetables, absolutely. If you need to get more of the greens into the diet, then a great thing for the kids is to put it into smoothies. So we always share fantastic recipes. A couple weeks back, we posted, so make sure that you're following us on and me on Instagram at Dr. Janine, because there we share a lot of fantastic recipes as to how to implement these things into your daily lives. And we made some great smoothie cubes, and we'll share all of these things again. So make sure that you're following me.
Thank you, Laura, for that great question. Brenda also wrote in asking about dry eyes. Are dry eyes a symptom of a more serious problem? Should I be concerned about that?
Well, yes, because potentially, so not to scare you, but potentially it could be an autoimmune disorder called Sjogren's syndrome, which can be often linked to, believe it or not, an unhealthy gut. So leaky gut syndrome has a lot to do with developing, these autoimmune disorders, and this is something that can be a problem. So fixing the gut and decreasing that likelihood of autoimmunity can really be helpful for Sjogren's, but also when it's regular everyday eye strain, this can cause dry eyes. And believe it or not, we don't blink enough. So we're straining our eyes, and I'm completely guilty of this. I don't know about you, Norm, with the devices and things, and I do a lot of research. As most of you know, I'm always, I've got a few of my papers here in the research that I brought for this episode. And doing that research, I love to do it, but I forget to blink. And every time we blink, so let's just do a few blinks right now. I mean, it seems so simple. Let's do a few blinks. A little blinking exercise. Yeah, this isn't the exercise of the hour, but it's a good one that's coming to mind.
Okay.
So just blink a few times and just kind of let your eyes rest a little bit in between, and it's just so therapeutic. And who thinks about this? Nobody, and I never have a chance to talk about these things. So that's why I'm so glad that we're here in the Q&A. Blinking is our way of naturally lubricating the eyes, and dry eyes can just be sometimes from eye strain. So that's a really simple thing that you can do, especially if you're at your computer or on your devices for an extended period of time, is to do that blinking.
Great question from Brenda. Thank you very much for that. You know what she mentioned, or you mentioned exercising by blinking.
Yes.
Is there, or are there any other eye exercises we can do? We often don't think that the eyes have
Yes.
muscles that can be exercised consciously by us, can we?
Oh, yes. So let's do some now.
Okay.
This is so exciting. So these are our eye exercises, which are really helpful for prevention of eye disorders, helping our vision, helping to relax our eye muscles. So one of them is called the Bates method. So what we're going to do, Norm, is we're...
As in Norman Bates? Is that what you- Not quite, never mind.
No.
Sorry.
But that's a good one. So what
Thank
we're
you.
going to do is we're going to rub our hands together.
Yeah.
And we are going to allow and that's why I uncross my legs, we're going to allow for our elbows just to rest. So if you're sitting at a desk, you can do this at your work desk, which is what, I do when I'm working and I need to take that break. But after rubbing our hands together and generating some of that energy, we're basically going to gently close our eyes and just, it's called cupping, just cup our hands over our eyes, closing our eyes and just completely allowing all the muscles, both in the eyes and around the eyes, to completely relax. And you're going to stay like this for about 2 minutes is ideal. I don't know about you, Norm. I'm coming back. I don't know if you're going to stay there for the rest of the show.
That's really good.
Isn't that good?
I feel like I just had a power nap almost there too.
Well, it's
Yeah.
so restorative, and even for the nervous system. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it just helps to kind of, if you're having a stressful day, you're having a moment, or the kids are, I can relate to this, the kids are driving you whoo-hoo, cuckoo, that you just take a moment and you do that and you just rest. And it's actually important for the kids to do this as well. I always come back to talking, we have lots of children at home. And it's really important for the children as well, because of being on their devices and straining their eyes, whether it's for the homework or for the fortnight, you've got to take that break and allow their eyes to relax as well. So a great thing that you can teach the kids too.
Definitely. And you know what? I do feel like my eyes are more alive after just doing that for a short period of time. Suddenly,
Yes.
everything is just, I'm a little bit more aware of what I'm looking at. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it works for sure.
Yes, and
So-
I'm glad to share it. So
What's great about this show too is that Q&A, questions with natural answers, with Dr. Janine, and remember to follow her on Instagram at Dr. Janine, spell it all out, DoctorJanine, is that Dr. Janine doesn't have to just speak in sound bites here. Here we can get a little bit more deeper, a lot more deeper into the issue actually.